Welcome to Tech Weekly with Jake Brown. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 15 of Tech Weekly. Tech Weekly is a show that happens every Friday night from 8 o'clock to 8:15 p.m. and I tell you the biggest tech news that has happened in the past week in under 15 minutes. So first up is our favorite news, Apple news. According to a new leak from Mr. Jon Prosser, the iPhone 12 Pro Max will have a display with a 120Hz refresh rate, LiDAR-supported autofocus in its cameras, and support for recording 120 frames per second at 4K resolution for regular video and 240 FPS in slow motion. Prosser has clarified in his video that all the info is based on a performance verification testing, or PVT unit, of the 6.7-inch 12 Pro Max. So if Apple finds that any of the features are not working out as intended, they might not end up in the final product. Prosser's video shows a setting to enable a high refresh rate or enable an adaptive refresh rate of up to 120 Hz. However, he clarifies that his source said that some of the units under testing didn't have high refresh rate support. And now you may be skeptical, but there's also a video as well, which is playing up here on the screen right now. None of this is 100% confirmed yet, but it is very likely as the new iPhones are soon to go into mass production. Next up, Windows 95 just turned 25 years old on Monday, August 24th. 25 years ago, people were lining up at CompUSA or Best Buy at midnight. It wasn't a new Call of Duty game, Apple's latest iPod, or any type of hardware at all that shoppers were waiting for. It was software, and not just any software, Windows 95. Microsoft's Windows 95 release on August 24, 1995 was a highly anticipated launch. Jay Leno helped launch the software along Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, with a lot of jokes and the appearance of the entire Windows 95 development team on stage. So here's a quick clip of that, which I thought was pretty funny. It was a huge day for Microsoft, with TV commercials blasting the Rolling Stones' Start Me Up with images of the new start button that we still use today. Microsoft even hired Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry to create an hour-long cyber sitcom all about Windows 95, and the software was so popular that 7 million copies were sold just during the first 5 weeks. Wow, that's a lot. You guys can check out the full Start Me Up video down in the description, along with all of the other websites from this episode of Tech Weekly, so make sure that you do go check that out. Moving on, WordPress founding developer Matt Mullenweg is accusing Apple of cutting off the ability to update that app until or unless he adds in-app purchases so that the most valuable company in the world can extract its 30% cut of the money. Here's the thing though, the WordPress app on iOS does not sell anything. The app simply lets you make a website for free. There isn't even an option to buy a unique .com or even .blog domain name from the iPhone and iPad app. It simply assigns you a free WordPress domain and 3 gigabytes of space. Apple later issued a rare on-the-record apology and saying that WordPress will no longer have to add in-app purchases now that all is said and done. This is the full statement from Apple. We believe the issue with the WordPress app has been resolved. Since the developer removed the display of their service payment options from the app, it is now a free standalone app and does not have to offer in-app purchases. We have informed the developer and apologized for any confusion that we may have caused. Now for some YouTube news. YouTube has banned the controversial creator Calvin Lee Vale, better known as Leafy is Here, for repeatedly violating the company's harassment policies. The ban follows big changes to the YouTube's harassment policy meant to deter the behavior that in part helped the creators in the community like Leafy develop a following. Although Vale has a history of making videos that include offensive comments about other creators on the site, including a now-deleted video from 2016 that mocked the appearance of another creator, the termination only came after his channel amassed at least 3 violations of YouTube's harassment policy over the last 90 days. That includes videos featuring cyberbullying and encouraging viewers to disrupt other creators' streams. Vale told the YouTube creator Daniel Keem that he didn't receive any emails about specific videos prior to the ban. YouTube's community guidelines state that 3 content strikes will lead to a channel's termination. YouTube did not comment on which videos led to Vale's ban. Over to another company that has been in the news a lot lately, TikTok confirms that they will sue the Trump administration. Even though we strongly disagree with the Trump administration's concerns for nearly a year, we have sought to engage in good faith to provide a constructive solution. What we have encountered instead was a lack of due process, as the administration paid no attention to the facts and tried to insert itself into negotiations between private businesses. To ensure that the rule of law is not discarded and that our company and users are treated fairly, we have no choice but to challenge the executive order through the judicial system. This is what TikTok said in a statement. President Trump signed an executive order on August 6th blocking all transactions with ByteDance in an effort to address the national emergency with respect to inform the communication technology supply chain. The order invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act and the National Emergencies Act. There is credible evidence that leads me to believe that ByteDance might take action that threatens to impair the national security of the United States, Trump wrote in the order, which references national security concerns. Next up, this giant glowing orb is the world's first floating Apple Store. The iPhone maker's newest retail location, located in Singapore on the city-state's waterfront, is and known officially as the Apple Marina Bay Sands, can claim a world's first title. It's the only Apple retail shop on the planet that floats on water. During the daytime, the new Marina Bay Sands store appears to look like an odd spacecraft of some sort, or perhaps some form of futuristic theater. But at nighttime, when Singapore's iconic skyline is lit in all its glory in the background, the store really comes alive, and you can tell the company clearly designed it as an evening fixture best viewed in the dark. This store seems really cool, and I'd love to go and visit it at some point. Moving on, Walmart says that they are partnering with Microsoft on a TikTok deal. The retailer is pitching the partnership as a way for it to expand its advertising business and grow its third-party marketplace. It comes as a report suggests that Microsoft is close to finalizing a deal with TikTok that could be announced in the coming days. A Walmart and Microsoft partnership wouldn't be the first. A couple of years ago, they both teamed up to take on Amazon. The deal has led to Walmart using Azure and Microsoft 365 across its business, alongside new projects focused on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data platforms. Back to some more of our favorite news, Apple news. Apple's move to make advertising harder on iOS 14 is part of a trend. The issue at stake is a technical one, but it's worth learning a little bit about. If only for the fact that assuming you use an iPhone, it's going to result in a lot of pop-ups on your phone once you upgrade your device in a month or so. The advertising industry assigns a unique code to each device called an Identification for Advertisers, or IDFA. Knowing your IDFA can help advertisers tell whether their ads are effective, particularly when they've shown you the same ad in multiple places. Facebook uses IDFA as part of Audience Network, its ad network for developers. Starting in iOS 14, which will ship this fall, Apple will begin requiring that developers show you a warning that they are collecting your IDFA, and you'll have to opt into sharing it. Some large percentage of users can be expected to say no thanks. On Wednesday, Facebook said it would stop collecting IDFA altogether. Facebook's own ad business will be mostly fine since your profile and activity on its apps contain data way more useful than a simple device ID. But the company says that a lot of advertising clients will suffer. Next, Apple has announced a new major update to Final Cut Pro 10 that adds several new improvements to proxy workflows, making the software far more suited to remote and collaborative editing for videos. The 10.4.9 update also adds several other useful features, including a machine learning-powered Smart Conform feature that can automatically crop videos for social media platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Proxy files are smaller, lower resolution versions of an original clip designed to make editing easier on lower powered or offline machines. The new Final Cut Pro 10 update now makes it easier to move the entirety of a proxy project to another device, including non-proxy files like images, titles, or motion graphics, meaning that you can easily share a smaller version of your video project, fully edit it remotely, and then pass it back on your Mac computer for final color correction, effects, and export. Final Cut Pro 10 is also getting more flexible proxy options for even smaller project sizes. It now supports creating proxies at 50, 25, and 12.5% resolutions, and support both ProRes and H.264 formats. Furthermore, clips that don't have proxy files, either because you didn't have time to compress them or because it's already compressed, can be used together with proxy clips now, whereas previously Final Cut Pro would just simply not show those clips alongside proxy files. The other new major feature introduced in this update is called Smart Conform, which uses machine learning to automatically analyze video clips for dominant motion and then automatically crops them to a specified size, including square and vertical clips for Instagram and other platforms. Apple is playing a bit of catch-up here, given that Adobe already added a similar feature to Premiere Pro in the last major update. But it should be a useful addition for Final Cut users regardless. There's also a variety of other improvements available in the new update, including new plugins for Canon and Red RAW files that adds metal support, allowing playback of 8K Canon Cinema RAW Light files for the first time, and faster 8K transcoding for Red RAW files. The new update also adds simplified command for crossfading audio between two clips and the ability to see ISO, color temperature, and exposure offset adjustments for ProRes RAW settings directly in the inspector, among other improvements. And I am really excited for this update, as I do use Final Cut Pro as my main editing software. Here's another company that's been in the news a lot lately. Fortnite is splitting into two different games because of Epic and Apple's fight. Fortnite's next season just got released the other day, but if you're on iOS or macOS, you won't be able to play it, Epic announced. And that's not all. Players on iPhone, iPad, and Mac will also lose cross-play Fortnite multiplayer with non-Apple platforms. That means that players on Apple platforms will be stuck on the current version of Fortnite, and they'll only be able to play with one another. Essentially, the legal fight with Apple will in order split Fortnite into two. On PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and Android, Fortnite players will have access to the all-new Marvel-themed content, whereas on Apple devices, you will not. Most new Fortnite seasons pack in significant changes, including updates to the map, new cosmetics, and new in-game rewards as part of the game's Battle Pass subscription. If you are a Marvel fan, this looks pretty cool, but if you are on Apple devices, though, you're kind of out of luck. Now for Lightning News. Lightning News is a bunch of short articles that I share with you relatively quickly. First, DJI officially announced the Osmo Mobile 4, which adds magnetic mounts to the foldable phone stabilizer. The OM4 keeps the same foldable design as its predecessor, but it now comes with two magnetic mounts so you can quickly attach and detach your phone without needing to clamp it down and rebalance it between shoots. One magnetic mount is a clamp which wraps around your phone, while the second one attaches to the back of your phone and doubles as a finger ring so you can get a better grip with one hand. The DJI OM4 is available starting today for $149, about $20 more than the Osmo Mobile 3 cost at launch, but it's worth pointing out that the higher price includes a lot more accessories: a magnetic ring holder, magnetic clamp, carrying case, and a tripod, in addition to the wrist strap that you'd usually get in the standard package with previous Osmo mobile devices. You can purchase the Osmo Mobile 4 from DJI, Best Buy, or Moment right now, and my guess is it's going to come to Apple stores relatively soon. Next, NVIDIA is getting ready for its big GeForce event next week by teasing the design for its next generation graphics cards. In a newly published video, NVIDIA engineers and designers discussed the changes being made to its next Ampere-based GeForce cards. Recent leaks have suggested that NVIDIA will announce RTX 3000 series cards on September 1st, including an RTX 3080 and flagship RTX 3090 card. And this RTX 3090 card will be quite expensive, and it's rumored to be about $1,400. At the end of NVIDIA's video, the company briefly flashes up what appears to be an RTX 3090. It matches recent card leaks that claim the RTX 3090 will ship with a pennant-shaped board and new cooling shroud. Moving on, with schools across the country beginning virtual classes this past week, video conferencing platform Zoom had an unexpected gift for all these school children in a form of a lengthy outage that affected the ability to conduct meetings and webinars on Monday, August 24th. The outage affected North America and some parts of Europe. Now for our favorite lightning news, Apple news. Apple is planning to add augmented reality content as a companion to its TV Plus streaming service next year. The AR content could be characters or objects from the show itself, which could then be overlaid onto the real-world environment via an iPhone or iPad app. Apple had originally intended to launch the feature this year before the coronavirus pandemic delayed its plans. Next, LG's swiveling wing phone has allegedly revealed in a video leak. While a previous wing mock-up showed a smaller screen at the bottom with the larger screen positioned in a landscape orientation, this video shows how the device could work with a main screen in portrait and a secondary screen off to the side. In the video, a driver is using the larger screen for GPS navigation with music controls on the second screen. Then when a phone call comes in, it's handled on the smaller display without obscuring driving directions. Over to YouTube news. Apparently they took down more videos than ever last quarter as they relied more on non-human moderators. That according to the Community Guidelines Enforcement report that the company released on Tuesday, August 25th, which shows that they took down more than 11.4 million videos between April and June of 2020. In the same period last year in 2019, YouTube removed just under 9 million videos, which is still a lot. Moving on, after announcing Chromecast support for Google Meet, Google has now revealed the company's consumer video chat app Duo will be coming to Android TV in the form of a native app that lets users start video calls from their TV screen. A beta of Google Duo for Android TV will be released in coming weeks. You can launch both one-on-one and group video calls with the app. If your TV doesn't have a camera built in, you can simply plug in a USB camera, Google said in a blog post, assuming that your TV supports it. LG has officially announced a portable air purifier that you wear on your face like a mask. The PuriCare wearable air purifier uses a pair of replaceable filters similar to what you find in LG's range of air purifiers for the home, pairing them with battery-powered fans that help you breathe. LG says that the device has sensors to detect when you're breathing in or out and adjust the fan speeds accordingly. Now for some more TikTok news. CEO Kevin Mayer has left the company amid ongoing disputes with the Trump administration and sale talks. We appreciate that the political dynamics of the last few months have significantly changed what the scope of Kevin's role would be going forward and fully respect his decision, a TikTok spokesperson said in a statement to The Verge. We thank him for his time at the company and wish him well. In our final piece of tech news, Canon cameras can now automatically upload your pictures to Google Photos. In this auto backup to Google Photos feature, work with both Android and iOS versions of the Image.Canon app, but you've got to make sure that your camera is compatible. If it is, just make sure you got the latest Image.Canon app update installed and you'll see the new option for transferring photos to Google Photos. After activating the new feature in Canon's app, future photos and videos will be sent automatically to Google's photo storage platform. You don't have to worry about losing any quality from your shots either. All images are synced to Google Photos at their original quality. Okay, that just about wraps up this episode of Tech Weekly. Thank you to everybody that is watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to check out our Tech Weekly podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm Jake, the Tech Professor. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.